Hello and welcome to my session today. In this session, I'll be presenting you about how Citrix enabled remote work for organization, providing a better user experience and security. Here is the agenda of today's session. We will start with going a bit in a flashback to see what challenges organization faced to enable remote work during pandemic. How Citrix helped them to overcome these challenges and be ready for the new normal. Use case for some verticals to find out how they embrace remote work. So, get started. 2020 was a roller coaster ride for all of us. Pre-COVID, remote work, the definition of remote work was providing access to certain corporate resources only for a small group of users. And that too, mainly for IT and C-levels. As per Gartner, by 2030, demand for remote work will reach 30% more. And flash forward, when the pandemic hit in early 2020, organizations were forced to shut down offices, immediately transition from work from home. To help keep the lights on, organizations used whatever was available to let them work. There are three main business challenges which organizations faced. The first one is the productivity. The productivity actually decreased, and the main reason of that was end users were finding it difficult to transition to remote work. They were not able to find all the resources available to them, be it an application or files or data. So it was not available for them to complete their day-to-day tasks. On top of it, several credentials, several portals to access, search for data and applications. This was making it more difficult for them, which resulted in decrease in productivity. The second increase, it also increased the complexity for the IT team and it as well as for the users. As it was a new experience for them to move to work remotely, they were finding it difficult to get access to all the resources. For IT team, onboarding new users, patching and update of the resources were actually became nightmare for them. And especially when the help desk team was actually remote. And on top of it, the problems with the network bandwidth and connectivity also created this more miserable. The main problem when the users are accessing from home, the network connectivity is not same at all the time. And solution was not capable enough to change or adopt as per the network changes. Last but not the least, the security, which is the most important for any of the organization. This also organization got less control and visibility on the resources and the user access. With users and devices moving outside the network, putting security and compliance to a serious test. With VPN option, where external devices becoming part of the organization, network raising serious threats. Also, lack of visibility and control on user access, making it difficult for the organizations. So these were the challenges, the business challenges that organizations were facing when they were abruptly asked to move to remote work suddenly when during this COVID times. To address these business challenges, Citrix solutions are actually built on main three pillars. And these pillars are user experience, security, and choice. Let's go through these pillars one by one. User experience is key to the productivity. If the user experience is better, users will actually be accessing all the applications and everything easily. The productivity will increase as well. Citrix provides a unified access to all the applications, desktop and files for the users. So they don't have to search for it. They don't have to go for multiple locations and enter multiple credentials. Everything is available single sign-on for them. So they can access it from one single portal. On top of it, Citrix HDX is actually adopting any changes in the backend network. So if the user network is going down or for any reason user is moving from Wi-Fi to 3G or 4G, it adopts to that network change to constantly providing the best user experience, and user can continue his work without getting disconnected or anything. So this helped increase the user productivity, and it increased the user experience. When the users are coming from remotely, they are using a VPN solution, which is actually providing them access to network and application layer, whereas Citrix provides VPN-less access to users, and which provides a controlled access to resources as well, which means access will be provided to users based on their location, based on your devices, and it can be any contextual access it is. So Citrix provides contextual and secure access to users. And additionally, we do provide granular security policies and app protection, which actually allows the organization to restrict screen capture and anti-keylogger. If the users are coming from their personal devices, they might have a malware installed on their devices, which is taking screen captures or keyloggers. So app protection can disable that, and it can save the data leakage for the organization. On top of it, we can even restrict the screen capture from external cameras through our security policies. So this way we can enhance the end user experience and providing the security at the same time. The last pillar is choice. We are providing best user experience with keeping in mind security and control for the organization, and giving choice to the organization to select the product, be it any particular hardware, be it any cloud or any resources they want. They can select and choose those resources and provide services to their end users. We are actually enabling the organization to be agile, to adopt changes without binding them to specific hardware, cloud, and location. An organization can choose any cloud, hypervisor, and location to host their resources. Now, let's go through use cases with some verticals. These verticals actually that we selected during pandemic, we have seen our education sector, health sector, and banking sector came into very huge pressure. And when asked to work remotely, they faced a lot of issues as well. And so we'll go through each of these verticals one by one and see how the challenges they faced and how Citrix actually helped them to face those challenges and be ready for the future. When education institutes were asked to move completely to remote work, some of the challenges they faced were delivery of labs remotely to students, and especially when there is a GPU involved and heavy workstations are there. On top of it, there is a Linux or specific application-based labs. So those labs were within the university or within the institute premises, and students were remote. So how to provide access to those resources to students? And plus applications and desktop that for the normal labs or for normal applications was required to be provided remotely to the users. Along with students, staff and faculty was also required to be onboarded so that they can also access the services remotely and they can complete their task as well. One more thing in educational institutes that we have seen is about content collaboration. So when the faculty is sending assignments and projects to students and how the students are working on it, they can get it timely and they complete the task and submit it out. So this was one of the tasks that was required for the educational institutes. With Citrix, virtual apps and desktops, university delivered applications and desktop to students as well as staff. Using remote PC, we delivered lab PCs to the students accessing remotely. So without adding any extra resources within the data center, the lab PCs were provided direct access to student accessing from outside. With Citrix ShareFile, we made content collaboration much easier. So users have a mobile application or they have an application on their PCs, they can connect and get the assignments, and once they complete, they can submit it back to their faculty in the classes. Next vertical is health. Hospitals were actually overloaded with patients, and doctors and nurses were doing overtime to get both ends meet. The problem was the resources were less and it was overloaded actually. The hospitals are working day and night to provide services to their staff. The main challenge for health vertical was to provide reliable, easy, and update services round the clock. IT teams need to work proactively to monitor all the services and make sure that everything is up to date and everything is running, and whenever it is required, it is available. And if there any issue comes in, they can resolve it much faster. So with Citrix, we provide one unified portal to the hospital staff, doctors and nurses, where they were able to access all the application and services, and from one single pane of glass, which was up to date, always available for them, and they can access it from any device they have, be it within the hospital or be it from their home. On top of it, Citrix Analytics provide security and performance monitoring to stay proactive and resolve issues faster for the IT team and the organization. Last vertical is banking. Banking sector has to make sure that they provide secure and controlled access to users, making sure no data leakage happen. With security in mind, Citrix provided contextual and secure access to users, starting from checking device posture to applying granular policies, providing session recording for audit and security purpose to app protection, making it end-to-end secure from the time user try to connect the application till he's working on the application and till the time he closes. So everything is controlled and everything is being monitored. Citrix even helped banking sector and organizations to achieve the zero trust approach. With the help of Citrix Analytics and many Citrix security policies, we were able to implement the zero trust approach for the organization, where the whole session was recorded by the organization to make sure that auditing is for auditing purposes, and most important of all, everything was controlled and no data leakage is happening for the organization. Thank you very much.